Morning on this sunny day. I'm Lynn, and here's what's happening today on Utopia Farms.
She had a terrible ring wound, I guess. I want to tell her we had a pair of twins. It's called a white lie. That pin has to go up higher away from the manure pack.
Let's get started. Honey, are you yet another straggler? We had a straggler with lambs last night. She's got Till, and she had a really difficult birth. She had really bad ringworm. So it took us about 20 minutes to open her up, but both lambs managed to get out safely. One's a little smaller, apparently. I think it's the one she's hovering over. And then there's this one. But we'll get to her later. I'm sure I needed some videos last night that I'll post up here. And obviously I've got pressing concerns in this pen over here, as you can hear by the hollering. Oh, and no wonder they're hollering. They've jumped out of the feeder and have locked themselves in a jog. Honeys, can you not figure it out yet? They're so happy to see me and to come over and get their milk that they jump in the feeder and hop over, but once they're over, this side, the bedding pack is lower, so they can't hop back in. Silly lammies. I've just been given some bad news. There's a reason the lamb was small. Because it's triplets again. And now I see it, now that she's moved. There's another one under there. So we'll have to play Arnie's video and see what the story is. Poor girl. Poor me.
Yes. 9 o'clock at night. Oh. So this sheep here, something's wrong with this sheep. She had a terrible ring wound, I guess. And she's pushing. I couldn't get, I'm hoping everything's fine. One small lamb, as you can see there, on the left, and two large ones. She's went through hell, so I'm going to have to, I'll probably get her on some drugs right away and some painkillers. It was not a very friendly lambing. So that's what's happening now. See how this turns out tonight. She was pushing probably all day today, and something was wrong with this. But anyways, everything's out now, and we'll see what happens. I'll keep you informed. So, got her all cleaned up. She's quite the woolly little sheep. Got two real healthy lambs, and one is actually quite small. But the one small one actually was the most hungry of the three. So that's a good sign. So, just tuck it away. There you go. See if I can keep that. I'm a little concerned about how maybe I should get a hot water bottle in here for a second. So anyways, fed them all. They're just tired right now. It wasn't a very pretty birth. I've never seen a ring wound that tight, and that I've never seen one that tight. I'm hoping she's okay. There's no blood. She's not bleeding, and she hasn't cleaned yet. And she's acting very well. So I gave her some nice fresh hay there, and she's really hungry. She has a little bit of milk, but not a great deal. But I'm thinking 3 lambs, she probably will come to her milk, hopefully. So I'm going to put a hot water bottle along the back there with that little small one at the back. He's only about half the size of these. So, yeah, what causes that, I'm not sure. I'm thinking that these two were attached really well to the mother. And I'm going to guess that one over there in the back probably wasn't attached that well. I mean, I'm not a doctor or nothing. I'm just saying, yeah. So I'm hoping it lives, but if it doesn't live, it's I've done my best. So right now I'm going to give them a hot water bottle and try to get them to heat up and dry off. They're nice and warm. It's not a very cold night. So we're got a female, a male, and I'm not sure about the little one. No point in counting my chickens until they hatch. So we'll see what happens. I will come out a couple times tonight to make sure these are fed and looked after. So, yeah, I know it's only one ewe. She's eating that hay. But anyways, that's what happened now. I'm not going to tell Lynn about the triplets. She knows something's up, so I'm going to tell her we had a pair of twins. It's called a white lie, because if I tell her we had triplets, she's going to be a little upset maybe all night. So I'm not going to tell her, and we'll surprise her in the morning. And I'm just going to tell her we had a pair of twins. It's called a white lie, and I'm lying for the better of the benefit, I guess you would say, if I'm saying that correctly. And that way she'll have a good night's sleep, and we'll deal with it in the morning, and I'll be up checking them all night. So the little guy's actually moving his head around, so he's actually feeling pretty good. But I am, whoops, sorry, Mom. She's actually feeling really good because it was a real bad birth. So I'm surprised she's feeling that good. Because most of the time sheep that go through that type of drama, they don't act very well. But she's acting very well. And she's looking at the little guy right now, so that's a good sign. But I really wish we didn't have triplets, but it's something we're going to have to deal with. So, good night. And maybe I'll do a few little short films tonight on the process, how these are proceeding on. And have a good night, and we'll see you in the morning from Utopia Farms. Oh, buddy. Come on. Get up. Get up. You okay? She probably didn't like that too much. And she's a lamb too. She's okay. Just got in that hole right there. Hey, buddy. I don't think she's coming in. But she's got lambs in her. Okay, save that sheep. You know, the sheep was the only one back there. Probably scared all the rest of them to death. Well, I don't think anybody else is coming in tonight. So, we'll just shut these lights off. I'm coming back out tonight anyhow. I'll probably just check them. She's okay now. There's the triplets. They're all doing pretty good. There's one. There's the other one. I'm not going to feed him yet. She still hasn't cleaned yet. I hope that little guy is in a good position there. I might try to put him in a little better position. Container holds 800 pounds of our creep feed, and it is a creep feeder for cattle. There are actually some people use them for sheep. I didn't like them at all. What I use them now for is just to store the grain, and from there I scoop the grain out and put it into the walk-through feeders, and I feed the grain accordingly to what they'll eat per day to keep it fresh. And there's no. This is not a pellet. This is a whole grain barley, cracked corn, soybean meal mix. It's not a pellet form. So that's how we do it. That's 800 pounds. I'm filling this one here up about every 6 days. The other barn, I'm filling that feeder up every other day. It has to be filled to feed the adult lambs. Feeding a little less of that this year because the hay has so much alfalfa in the hay. The lambs are actually loving the alfalfa. I feel they're eating less grain this year, which is fine with me because I have lots of alfalfa, and the hay is the cheapest source of, or the cheapest source of feed I can produce. Grain's a little more expensive. We do grow all our own grains, so the grain is quite reasonable here. If you had to buy grains in, it can be quite expensive. So basically, where I live here, if you buy in, let's say, a ton of corn, if corn is sold for $200 a ton off the field in the fall, if you buy the corn in bulk form or bag forms, you're going to pay about $400 a ton. So they basically, for handling fees, they double the cost on it. So that's one way that you can try to get some of your costs down, is giving bulk feed in of your own feed, or buying it private off a farmer in the fall, but then you'd have to wonder how you're going to store it. But that's a whole other issue. But this is how we do it. Just fill that up, getting caught up for tonight. That we don't have a lot of chores to do tonight. So, just getting the bale of hay. This is the 4th bale of hay I'm feeding already today. little bit of water in the hay. So that bale will do this barn for 2 days. And I always make it a habit when I feed like this to see if everybody's coming up and if everybody looks good. And as you can see right now, everybody looks fine. So you're always looking for that sheep that's a little odd off to the side. Now, this is the only manger we made ourselves. This manger is 5 feet wide. And we've had discussions about this before. The other barns are 4.5 feet because the bale's 4 feet. This is 5 feet because when you buy that sheet metal for the bottom, it comes 5 feet wide. So we decided to leave it 5 feet because we didn't want to waste that 1 foot. But I'll be honest with you, if I was to do the mangers again, I would definitely do them 5 feet wide. The bale doesn't get caught so many times. It rolls out a lot better. We're on 4.5 feet. You have to keep the bale perfectly right in the center of the trough, or else it keeps getting bound up. So I would probably recommend to go 5 feet wide. They're going to have a little hay left over in the center, but when you walk through, you're just going to kick it over. It's not a big deal. I mean, you got to be here anyhow. So, but yeah, you can see they're all eating, and these lambs are all up and eating hay. So some of these lambs are going to have to go to market, I think, because we can't keep this amount of rams, and they're at the magical weight right now. So done this barn, and I'm done tonight. Now all I have to do tonight is feed a little bit of grain. So what I do here is I find these feeders aren't very friendly. I don't know how you could change them or whatever, but as they're pulling the hay out, they're pulling out all the fine hay, and the coarse hay is being left behind the bars or spaces. So then they kind of lose their interest in eating the hay. So it's a little extra work, but this is what I do. I just take the hay like this, shake it up a little bit, and they're going to eat a lot more of it. Lynn can't do this because she's allergic to hay. I'm actually quite surprised that Lynn's even involved with a farmer, but she does love it. So I shake it up like that, and they'll eat a lot more of it. Just takes a second. You know what I always say is what you put into it is what you can get out of it. So that's a lot of hay. See how they have to pull that hay through those small bars? Well, if you talk to a nutritionist that's gone to university and everything, animals are animals that have a very short, whatever you call it, patience. So if they have to work too hard at that hay, they'll leave it. So the hay has to be a little more friendlier to come out. The downfall of that would be is if it came out too fast, they'd be pulling hay out in the ground. So yeah, there's pluses and negatives, I guess. But yeah, these lambs, you can see these lambs. They can come off the mothers. I mean, what's that lamb doing there in the gate right there? See that lamb in the gate right there? Like, what's he doing? Like, would he be stuck? What are you doing, buddy? Oh, he got out. So this would be, oh yeah, see, I'm going to guess that ewe right there is 100 pounds. Easily. Yeah, easy 100 pounds. Yeah, so this has to turn around, so we just got to get caught up a little bit and get organized. So, got the keep feeding here today too. This here, 800 pounds here, will just last me 2 days in this group of lambs. So I'm going to shake up that feeder a little bit too. And then I save the core of this hay right here, the center core. And if they have that hay ate up tonight, I'll roll that hay on top of that manger and give them more hay. But shortly, I think to pull the mothers out and get the lambs on the main feeder here is a lot less work for me. And that's probably where we're gonna end up. Real shortly, hopefully. So, see, and this is one of the things I pick out on for sheep. I don't know if you look at me. You see the muzzle on that sheep? Hey, Bob, hey, psst, psst, psst. Look at me. See how square that muzzle is? To me, I mean, I'm not a perfect guy in sheep industry, but to me, I really love that square muzzle, that big square muzzle. And see that lamb has it. See how wide those nostrils are apart? And I love to see that. So these are the panels we made up. They're 8 feet long. We have them all over the barn. We must have 50 of them for dividing pens. So if you see, we just slide a pin through here, and it hooks the two together. So what's wrong? When I started building this, I didn't realize that's the top of the panel, and as you go down, that's where the manure pack is on the bottom. So the problem with the eye at the bottom, it's always laying in the manure, and the pin comes out. So that pin has to go up higher, away from the manure pack. I never recommend the pins near the bottom. Keep them up 10 inches up from the bottom. You don't need a pin at the very end. So I was going to cut that pin off, but that's a little bit of work. So I just made a couple new eyes. And if you see, they're a bigger eye, but they're the same distance away. So I'm going to just tack that right on there, right in line with that, and we won't have that problem anymore. There you go. So that's the way the panel will sit in the barn. And the rod will go right through here, right down below, right through that new eye, right through the old one. And that won't be a problem for me again. Hey, buddy. A little too close, you guys. People say if you have a ram that's charging you, you shouldn't keep it. What do you do if you have a ewe that's charging you? Hey, what are you doing, buddy? Look at the size of that eye. Hey, picture your eye. Whoa, that's a big eye. Hey, buddy, what are you doing? I'd probably stay out here right now, but this is pretty relaxing. But I'm thinking if I go in the house, I'd probably have supper. I'm not going to have supper here. Oh! What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? Show me by your eye. Look at the size of that eyeball. What are you doing? Get away from me. Come on, you guys. I gotta get up. Let me up. Come on, let me up. Let me up. Come on, you guys. Who is that anyhow? Is that a male? Hey guys, I'm gonna get up. Come on. I can smell my supper. Let me get going. Let me get going, please. Enough's enough. Come on. Get away. Oh, really? Who is that big bully that was just hitting me? It wasn't you, was it? Well, that's enough R&R time. I gotta go, boys. Anyways, come on, Ben. Let's go and see what's going to have for supper. You want to get out? Hey, that boy. Well, these guys are all fed for tonight. I don't have to come back into this barn. That barn over there is done for tonight. Just go to the house and see what's going on.